World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide. Good day. This is World News in 5 here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. The French people unanimously voted to triple parking charges for sports utility vehicle or SUV-style cars in the capital of Paris in what Mayor Anne Hidalgo describes as a favorable measure that is good for our health and good for the planet. Only 78,000 of the 1.3 million eligible Parisians voted at the 39 voting stations, which around 42,549 or 54.55% voted in favor of the measure. The new law charges cars weighing 1.6 tons or more 18 euros or about 19 United States dollars and 50 cents per hour if it would be parked in the center of the city, or 12 euros if parked further. Under the measure, electric cars will have to weigh more than 2 tons in order to be charged 18 euros, while those living or working in the French capital, taxi drivers, tradespeople, health workers, and people with disabilities will all be exempted. During Hidalgo's watch as mayor of the city, many streets have been pedestrianized, including the banks of the River Seine, and built a network of cycle lanes to discourage driving and reduce harmful transport emissions. The World Wildlife Fund, or WWF, has called SUVs as an aberration, saying they burn 15% more fuel than a classic coupe and cost more to build and purchase.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide. A day before the official start of campaigning in Dakar, Senegalese President Macky Sall postponed indefinitely the scheduled presidential elections on February 25th. President Sall said he postponed the elections due to an argument between the National Assembly and the Constitutional Court over the rejection of candidates. 2 Constitutional Council judges are currently under investigation due to the integrity in the election process. Hundreds of men and women gathered at the capital's main roads in support of opposition candidates. Police fired tear gas and chased protesters, while some demonstrators retaliated by throwing rocks. The earliest election date will be held late April if Senegal's election code were to be followed, as the law states that at least 80 days must pass between publication of the decree setting the date and the election. Because of concern, the United States, the European Union, and France led appeals for the vote to be rescheduled at the earliest date.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide. And news from the Philippines Foreign Service Post. The Philippine Embassy in Honolulu, Hawaii, welcomed Professor Giovanni Caballero, PhD, who was given the opportunity to conduct a series of lectures at the University of Hawaii, or UH, at Manoa. Philippine Consul General Emil Fernandez greeted Professor Caballero on the last day of the lecture series, exploring complexities of the Bangsamoro movement. The Mindanao State University faculty member was joined by UH Indo-Pacific Languages and Literatures Department Chair, Pia Arboleda, PhD, during the courtesy call at the embassy. Professor Caballero elaborated on the peace process and continuing nation-building efforts in southern Philippines. He also looked into the importance of cultural awareness and understanding in developing instructional materials and instilling appreciation for the diversity of the peoples of the Philippines, including the Bangsamoro. The lecture series was organized by the Center for Philippine Studies, or CPS, under the scope of the Philippine Studies Visiting Scholars Fund, or PSVSF. In 2022, the Philippine government, through its Consulate General in Honolulu, granted 5 million pesos to UH Manoa in the mission of strengthening the Philippines Studies Program.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.
And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day.
World News in 5.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes.
World News in 5.
Here on Radyo Pilipinas Worldwide.